Hello, I'm IBXTOYCAT and welcome back to another farming tutorial. This is a weird thing to say because I haven't had to do a farming tutorial for quite some time now on my channel because there hasn't really been anything you really needed to farm. But today that all changes because I'm going to be showing you how to farm Nether Wart in Minecraft. Because the thing is Nether Wart, you used to be able to farm it like many updates ago, but it never really had a use. I built this entire farm, I built a building for it, and then I realized, wait a minute, I don't really want Nether Wart. So I never actually collected it, I just placed it down, and then it got blown up by a few creepers here and there, and as you can see, it's just kind of a messy place. But today, I'm going to be arriving the farm, turning it from a manual farm into a semi-automatic farm, the most automatic you can get, and teaching you how to do the same as we go along. So yeah, it's kind of like a survival build-along project that will teach you how to get a bunch of Nether Wart, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy the video. If you do like it, please do let me know because it helps out the channel, and lets know you do like these sorts of videos, and that you like Nether Wart, and how useful it is for like a whole 2 blocks now. But yeah, let's get straight into it, and I guess you can also get it for brewing too. So yeah, that's like 3 uses for Nether Wart, but yeah, let's get straight into it with the, the first thing we're going to be doing here, which is, I guess, planning out the farm. So this is important before you do anything. You need to work out the size of your farm, you need to work out what you're doing, because there's 3 major components to what we're doing here. There's going to be the like series of Nether Warts, the easy stuff, which is going to be on several layers, so it's going to go quite vertical depending on how big you want it. You need to have a width to this, so you can go like 50 blocks wide, or like we're doing here, we're going to have 2 separate 5-block farms. Again, you can do this as wide or as thin as you want. For that now though, I've just got 2 separate 5 blocks, so that's what we'll stick with. And then we need to work out where the water is going to flow into, and where the stuff is going to go, because we want it to go into a hopper, into a chest. So what I think I'll do is I'll remove a block right here and right there. This block will be a hopper, which will link into a chest just over here. So let's place down a chest, and just like this is going to be endpoint for our stuff going to. This is going to be a hopper, and over there is going to be water to take it into the hopper. So yeah, easy stuff like that. Now we need to work on the more complex bits, which is actually pulling the Nether Wart in order. So yeah, because of the fact that there is going to be water involved, you need to go very specific, amounts of like I guess height or depth or whatever of how many like soul sand in a row you go. If you have too many, you're going to cause a problem. Too few, and you're just being wasteful. So yeah, we want to go 8 blocks first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, that's not 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at 8, we want to cut it off and just, saw this whole out thing, and we want to go up a layer. The reason we're doing this is because, obviously, the way, water works is it's going to flow down layer by layer, and if we want to do that properly, we need to go up another layer and go for another 7 blocks. So now let's remove all these blocks down here because they're not going to be useful, and we want to go 7 blocks this way, and you kind of get the basic idea of what we're doing here. We're making it so that water will follow the Nether block path a long way. So wait, this is 3 blocks so far, right? Yeah, this is 3 blocks. So 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you want to go up another layer if you want to do a 3rd thickness. Again, you can do this as many times as you want. You can make a whole world-size one. But for now, we're just going to go 3 layers up because I want a relatively simple one. And go, oh, wait, let's just place one on top of there. And then we're going to go another 7 blocks backwards, or as many as you desire for the final layer. So 2, 3, and then we need more already, and then we'll go with, just 7, and then we need to place our dispensers down. So once we've got a bunch of this back, again, this is all useless anyway, because, most of it got destroyed from just random creeper explosions, and I figure, let's pick it up and just use it for our stuff. So, yeah, now we need to go back to counting, which I guess we'll just do it over here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the end of where the Nether Wart's going to be planted, just so we can see that. Let's place some down. But in front of this, we're now going to want to place 1 more block, or, you don't need to, but whatever block you want to place, in our case, soul sand, and you want to put your dispensers on here. So we're going to need 10 dispensers. You need as many dispensers as you have rows of this. So again, if it's 100 rows wide, you need 100 dispensers. That's a pretty crazy idea for a farm, but again, you need as many rows as you have things, and we want to place this as many as we have here. So we'll place 5 on this side, 5 on that side, and then you're kind of seeing the farm come together here, right? Like, the water's going to flow out from here and flow all the way down there. But, just so you can see it, just 1, 2, 3. I'm going to need to place some blocks there, I think. And then we'll get the final one placed there. And this first row should just start to magically appear. Next up, we need to, hook up the redstone to it. So again, just imagine this is all fixed, because I'm going to get that done in a second, because there's a lot of blocks that need removing, a lot of blocks that need replacing. For now, just imagine that's been done. So, yeah, we'll leave that for a second and move on to the middle row here, which is going to be where the redstone's happening. So, in my case, I've chosen a split farm, because it already happens to be this way. If you don't have a split farm, you can do it down one way or the other. It doesn't really matter, as long as you have it, properly working. So let's go to a crafting table first of all, I guess. Actually, wait, let's harvest this, because we need a bunch of Nether Wart anyway to actually make Nether Wart blocks, because I wanted to use red Nether Wart bricks in the build itself, just to kind of show off how nice of a block it is. Because again, I'm not too fond of the Nether Wart block, but I really like the red Nether brick, so we're going to use that right now, so we can make a redstone trail from the start of the farm, all the way to the end here where the dispensers are. So we're going to just have it simply go from here. Oh, and also, this is going to stop the water falling off, so we don't really need that block there, but for now, we'll leave it. And this is going to follow the path along, kind of like a little bit of a guardrail, I guess. And as you can see, it's going to just follow it smoothly down like that. So I don't know if we have the exact right number of blocks we need, because this went a bit further than I was expecting. But, you know, it's going to do this in all simpleness. And we're just a few blocks short for now. Okay, let's grab the few blocks back that we didn't necessarily need to. Okay, that's actually necessary. Let's grab some of the few blocks back that weren't actually absolutely necessary, like this one over here. And then let's just pretend that it reached for now, because I was so close, right? But yeah, we could also use Nether blocks or whatever we want to use. But yeah, this is going to be where our farm, like, button start thing, so we'll just finish up with cage planks. As again, it looks totally fine, right? And then we're going to have our button be just over here. It's going to be a bit risky pulling it there because it's right next to water, but it hopefully will make the whole thing look that tiny bit better. So yeah, there's going to be a button just here, which will activate the redstone on top. At least I think it activates the redstone on top. Just like that, you test it, and suddenly, yeah, now we've got a trigger, but now we need to make it so it goes all the way to both series of dispensers. So having redstone on top of red nether brick is actually kind of questionable because you can barely see it normally, but maybe that's a good thing. You know, yeah, actually, new story. It's actually a really good thing because you don't want to see it. And yeah, we're going to use this so that it can go from here all the way to the place we're actually trying to get it to. So let's try and get that on top like that, and then hook up some more redstone. And yeah, it's going to go all the way along here until we hit the dispensers on the left and the dispensers on the right. And now you can, you know, logically work out where this is going. It's like, okay, well, you've got your series of dispensers, it's hooked up to a button, now that's going to cause the water to flow. But how do you cause water to flow? Well, you need to make sure each of these dispensers is hooked up with a bucket. So, yeah, I've got 8 buckets with me today. You need a lot of iron to make this work, because buckets, you know, yeah, having a few buckets is easy, but having like, oh, oops. I'm going to have to go pick this up in a second. Having a few buckets is easy, but having a lot of buckets can be kind of tricky. So, now we're going to put some buckets there, a bucket over here too, and one in each dispenser, of course, because this is going to fill and empty every time you press the button. It is reusable if you've never, you know, used dispensers and water buckets before. It's really, really cool because it will either empty the bucket or fill the bucket based on, you know, whether there's a block in front of it or not. Which, again, I really like certain things dispensers do, and this has to be one of those. So, yeah, pro tip though, don't leave your buckets at the bottom of the ocean. Not the safest place to leave them. So yeah, now we're going to place a bucket in this one over here. Oh, wait, on this one over there, is it? Yeah, the last one. And we also want to place some on the other side, too, because, again, but it's going to mirror onto both sides, like this. So we place a dispenser over... Oh, no idea how it went downwards, but yeah, we need to make sure we do the same just over here. So if we're, like, at just the right angle, we're probably going to need some soul sand if we're going to make this happen. But yeah, we want to do the exact same thing and make that magical. So remove some of these blocks, which, again, they're going to be removed eventually anyway. Place those along here, I guess it would be. So just like this. And then place the dispensers on top of them. So, just like that, now we can do this relatively easy, at least I say anyway, and place one... Had to pull off the block at the exact right moment. But yeah, then we're just going to place those along here. And again, we've only got 4 on this side, but you get the basic idea of that. And then we can place the buckets in there just to make our inventory a little bit less cluttered. So, save the effort, save the time. Make it happen, make it magical. So, yeah, we're going to place the rest of the dispensers in a second. I mean, we need to make another one first. Because, yeah, cool. A useful little tip for dispensers that I almost made the mistake of while I was here is that although you can't use a damaged bow to make a dispenser, you can use an enchanted bow. And you want to make sure you don't do that. So, yeah, always have, when you press you know, the button, make sure you check, do I have an enchanted bow? Yes. Okay, do I have a regular bow? Yes, because it will always use the non-enchanted one first, but sometimes you might just use your amazing mending bow on making a dispenser, which would be a little bit heartbreaking, at least for me. So, yeah, we're going to hook these up too, and you're going to see just how nicely we've got our redstone on top. And yeah, a lot of people don't know that you can actually activate dispensers, just a redstone on top, but it will work just fine, as I'll show you in a second. But first, I need to, like, have some form of proper hook on the side here to stop the water flowing off here, because again, that will happen otherwise, so... I guess it's the equivalent thing up over there, so like a block up there. This will be eventually this will turn into nether brick, just so it matches the rest. But for now, we're just extending it and doing it kind of roughly, so we'll do that. So next up, what we need to do is we need to get all of this replaced with soul sand. Again, that's a relatively easy bit, so I'll skip from here, and I'll skip to where I've actually finished all of this and finished it on the other side. So catch you in a second. And just like that, we've now placed all of the soul sand. We had to get some extra stuff because obviously it's a bit extended. And now we just need to place our nether wart on top of it. So usually what you want to do is you want to plant this nether wart and then wait some time and then test it when it's actually all activated. But because some of mine is already done, I'm just going to plant all of this. Some of it's going to grow as I do it. Some of it's going to be fresh to wash. But the cool thing about nether wart is it's one of the easiest things to farm in terms of like, well, if you wash it when it's fresh, you'll get 1 nether wart back. Even if it's like slightly grown up, like you can see over here, you're still going to get sometimes more than 1. And if it's fully grown, you'll get get a whole bunch more, and basically it multiplies very fast. So we don't have to worry about any particular problems of like, oh no, if we do this too fast, then we might actually harm the farm. There's going to be none of that. You always grow the farm or have it at the same length, which again, just a nice little aspect of it, if you ask me. And yeah, because like even though I had way less soul sand than I needed, I've got way more Nether Wart than I need, just because of how fast it multiplies and how insanely explosive the growth can be. So yeah, it's a cool little thing, if you ask me. I need to actually place some blocks there just to stop it falling off the edge there. And yeah, as long as you have like a... Also, look, it's growing literally in front of my eyes. That's pretty cool. But yeah, once you've got all of this in place, and then you've got your water sorted, you need to move on to the next phase of the plan, because you can probably work out that, okay, well, if all of this is done now, or if all of this is done in the next few seconds, well, then there's going to be, one major next step, which is working out, exactly what to do after the water hits. Because if you wanted to, I can just hit this button, and it's going to... Oh, wait. I can just hit this button, and it's going to activate all of the dispensers which have their water buckets in, which I think is like 8 of them now, right? So we activate that, and as you can see, then we activate it again just to turn them off. And look, it sends a flow of water down, knocking them all off, sending them all down here. But then we just get this big mess of like, what's even entirely going on here? And you can pick them up, but it's not really too great. So how do you make this a little bit better than that? Well, there's you want to have like a continuous system that makes everything just flow all in one place. So what am I really referring to here? So this is where the water flow and a hopper system comes in. So we want to grab ourselves another bucket. So again, we're going to need this later, so we might as well make it now, right? So let's go craft ourselves 2 buckets, and then use 1 to actually make this thing happen. So let's go into the crafting table, 2 buckets, just like this. Make sure they're both water buckets, obviously. And yeah, you want to make them go into the... while we're here anyway, actually, let's craft ourselves a hopper as well. So the hopper is a really useful tool. If you haven't used it yet, you should be, because it does some pretty cool stuff, particularly if you want to make a farm automatic, because in this case, it will do all our harvesting for us and just give us 1 chest, but all the important stuff happens. So yeah, we're going to place water going over to there. Again, we'll then switch this out, have water going over to there, and as you see, it's going to neutralize onto the same block like this. So I probably want to like make sure the block behind it's not visible, just so stuff doesn't accidentally go there. And then what we want to do is we want to place a hopper down here facing into the chest. So you crouch place into the chest a hopper, and now any items that go into there will just automatically appear into the chest. Also, place a block, maybe place a like half slab onto the chest or something, just to stop the water flowing that way, because that's what's happened here. So in our case, we'll just place like, I don't even know at this point, like just a single block of sand, just so we can make sure nothing goes there. And now everything will go to this hopper. It has to stay there, and then it's slowly absorbed and sent into the chest. So for now, we'll just leave it like that and kind of show my point. And now we'll test the other side, which didn't properly go off there, and show you exactly how amazingly this is going to work. So we'll grab 2 water buckets, again, 1 and 2, place those in the final 2 things, and this time we're going to spend some time between the charges so that it can pick up all the stragglers that are along the place, and also finish up the rest. So we need to place a bucket in there, a bucket in there, and I believe now every single dispenser has its own bucket. Yes, it does. So yeah, even though not all of this is done because I didn't spend enough time, what you between the charges, you want to press the button once and then just wait a few seconds. Let's say 10-15 seconds, something like that. Enough time that the water flows all the way first and starts to really activate, because it is traveling across soul sand, which will make it go slower, which is pretty important. And then I think it's flowing out a gap in the wall. That's what's gone wrong there. So in this case, we're going to turn it off and on because a big mistake was made. Again, as with all things, it can be fixed with an easy off-on cycle. But yeah, turn it off, and then turn it on again. And then we'll turn it off again very briefly afterwards. But yeah, you'll see, because it is soul sand, it's going to travel very slowly. But by the end of it, it's going to all end up in this little hopper over here, which is, as you can imagine, pretty darn handy. So even if you actually let it go this way, as long as it's going in slow enough, it actually will let you press like this. And as you can see, the chest is just going to slowly fill up with all of these, Nether Warts, and it's a pretty darn cool system. So if you have a massive, if you have an absolutely massive one of these, again, this is only 10 blocks wide and maybe like 20 blocks deep. So there's about 200, Nether Warts only one time. If you have one that's way bigger than this, you'll need lots of hoppers, because this one almost filled just in one cycle. But yeah, just based on that, now you can see our Nether Wart collects, and if we want to make Nether Wart blocks, we can make a bunch. If we want to make anything else, we can. And all we have to do to make this happen again is just go around and do another reharvest. And reharvesting is the easiest part of it, and just going like that. So yeah, just like that, in today's video, we have built a Nether Wart farm pretty much from scratch. I mean, I had one that was sort of here, but now I've made one that just does all the stuff for me. All I have to do is hit a button every now and then I end up with a giant chest absolutely full to the top of, of Nether Wart, and it can be made bigger, it can be made smaller, and that's the thing I love about farms in Minecraft, making the project the size you want. Do you want to make an epic Nether Wart farm bigger than anyone's ever seen? You can do that. Do you want to make a Nether Wart farm that gives you literally like 20 Nether Wart? Well, if you only need like 50 or 100 Nether Wart at some point, then yeah, that makes more sense. So yeah, here's a fun little build for you all. Hopefully you all enjoy it. Hopefully this inspires you to make one of these, and I'm going to harvest this a few times so I can actually make the rest of these Nether Wart blocks, and I guess I'll see you all in the next video. So also, oh, if you're going to do something around the outside like I have here, make sure that you finish it and don't leave it like poking out the edge. Again, this is just a visual thing because I'm going to fix this at some point and it's going to be beautiful. But yeah, make sure it looks nice on the outside. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're new around here, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.